There is so much confusion and there is so much ignorance. The only way to come to a solution is to have clarity. And the only way to have clarity is by sitting with the problem until you understand the source of it. But it depends on how wise you are. It depends on how long you've been studying the Buddha's Dharma. It depends on how long you've been studying the teachings of Jesus. So there are 6 billion people on earth, and each one has their own perspective. But right and wrong is fact, not belief, and it's not arguable. The fact of the matter is, if we allow the government to give us shots against our will, a lot of people don't understand what's going on. The government is getting to the point where they're saying, if you do not take this shot, we are going to starve you. And we are going to kick you out of every place, and you're going to be basically erased off the planet. That's what the government is saying right now. So you people who don't know that need to understand this. If they take these rights away, we're done. This is Nazi Germany. In the war between America and Nazi Germany, America was the hero. Now it's on our own land. It's very easy to be a hero when people are fighting 20,000 miles away on the other side of the planet. But to stand up for your rights, even under penalty of death, that's what it means to be an American citizen. They cannot forcefully say that they have to inject you with something. That is illegal against the United States government. People in this country have no idea what our ancestors went through to get a true democracy, and they learned from the mistakes of Rome. The democracy is set up so that the president doesn't have that power. The president bought the corporations. Who are the corporations? The corporations are not the government. Now, whoever goes with the people, whoever goes with this gets money. Whoever doesn't isn't allowed in public places in the city. That's martial law. Do you understand that martial law is the beginning to the downfall of a country? The greatest democracy the world has ever seen? The United States of America? The country that my grandfather fought in the war for? The country that our ancestors gave hundreds of thousands of lives for us to have? I don't think you guys understand. What happened was the King of England became corrupt because he was greedy. So he sent the redcoats out. The redcoats enforced their power with brute force. They were stealing people's wives and raping them and throwing the man in jail and killing them and getting away with it. That happened. This is not some kind of a fantasy, guys. If that gets declared, you as a U.S. citizen have given up all of your rights. You'll never get them back. This is the final stand. If we don't stand up for our freedom of choice right now, we might never get it back. And it's not going to be fun because what do we lose after that? We've already said it. The good people here have come together. You cannot force somebody to do something in a free country that they do not want to do. If you are forcing somebody to do something that they do not want to do, it is no longer a free country. America is a free country. At least it was. The citizens have to play their part. I think a lot of the people who are pro with this choice don't understand how the government works and what's at stake here. I had a woman come up to me. She goes, the vaccines are keeping people from getting sick. You haven't seen people in the hospital. I know sickness. I know suffering. I know what a vaccine is. Okay? So there's a lot of topics here. That's the thing. Not everybody knows the topics. So you really have to study the topics and know how the government's supposed to work, what a virus is, how a vaccine's supposed to work. And then it's a morality and human rights issues. But our human rights as Americans have been taken away for a long time. You have no right to be out on the beach at night. They've taken that right. Only the richest of the rich. You can't walk on the beach now at night. Got to get a permit. If you can't walk on the beach at night, that's the beginning of taking away your freedom. So then I said, well, you get your vaccine. Yeah, I got my vaccine. So then what do you have to worry about the virus anymore, right? You get a vaccine, you shouldn't be able to get the virus, right? Oh, no. That's not how this vaccine works. Wait a second. You're telling me that you're injecting something in your arms that's supposed to keep you from getting the virus, but you can still get the virus? Oh, well, just stop it right there. You've just admitted that the vaccine doesn't work. You just told me that the vaccine doesn't work. And then you're going to stick up for it after that? No. That is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard. That is absolute stupidity. What do they have, like scientific tests where they like 20% of people less with the vaccine get less sick and 20% of people more? The vaccine is one thing. At this point, it doesn't matter if the vaccine works or not. I said, what caused the disease? Oh, what caused the disease? Well, supposedly they were killing animals. Now, that's what it is supposedly. We can go into the theory that the vaccine was released by people. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But let's go with the explanation that they're giving. So you're telling me that this virus was caused by killing animals, and instead of having a war on meat eaters and claiming veganism so that there's no longer a disease, you're trying to give people a needle in their arms and force them? Now, here's the other thing. You're making 600% on this virus. I guarantee you, if you gave people ashwagandha and ginseng and had them do yoga and live a healthy lifestyle, I guarantee you that the percentage of people who got sick from the virus would be less than the people who got this vaccine. And let's face it, with the vaccine, you got to look at it underneath the microscope. You got to look at each dose. And how many people here know how to look at a vaccine under a microscope and tell if it's a true vaccine or if it's different or what it does? Not many people. You have to have a very good college education, understand the chemicals, how they work. It's not easy to look at a vaccine under a microscope. How many of you people have looked at the vaccine under the microscope before you take it? Is it legal to look at the vaccine under the microscope before you take it? Probably not. They're probably like, yo, just shoot this in your arm and shut up. Right? At that point, you're a slave. But let's face it, we've been slaves in this country for a while now. The more that the power shifts and goes to the richer people and comes away from the power of the people, the less and less power the people have. The people who have power don't want the other people to take the power back. So you have to take your power as an American citizen. In this country, if you are a king or if you are a poor man, you are still a king. You could be rich with $1 billion. You can have a regular job, bring home minimum wage. You're still a king in this country. In this country, every man is a king. So you have the right to decide what happens with your body and your mind. As soon as you start to impose that right on somebody else, you've crossed the line of freedom. So that's what you need to understand what right and wrong is. Okay? If killing animals caused it, we should just force everybody to be vegan. From here on out, nobody's allowed to eat meat. I declare this as king. Why can't I do that? We all know that's the problem. Killed animals. Well, now that I said it, now they'll change it, right? Oh, well, actually, what? No. As soon as the debate gets to that point where you're debating with someone who's lying, see, that's the problem. At what point in this country did money and success become more powerful or more rewarded than moral values and love and compassion and equanimity and human rights? At what point? Because that is way out of balance now. So what if I lie, cheat, and steal to get ahead, and I don't care who I hurt, and I get all this money? Now I'm in power, and now I'm gonna what? Hurt everybody else who's not in power, and they can't do anything about it? No, I'm not doing that. The fact of the matter is, I feel great compassion because are you ready to die for what you believe in? Are you ready to die for your freedom? Let's face it, the average American citizen, and I'm not looking down, I'm not saying, We don't want to deal with that. We just want to have a peaceful life, do our thing, go to work, watch some Netflix, chill out, love our family, love our loved ones. We don't want to have to deal with death threats, losing our job, losing our security. We don't want to deal with that. That's what the government's supposed to do. But now the government isn't going to do that. They're not doing that. This is why my call out to every single police officer is so important. We've all seen V, the movie. We've all seen what happened in it. We all know what happened in Nazi Germany. We all know this. How is it possible that something that happened less than 60 years ago is happening now, and you as a person are agreeing with that? How are you agreeing with that? So you need to understand, if I come into your house and your home and I ask you a question, hey, when's the last time you ate meat? Oh, I don't want to answer. Oh, you're going to jail. That legal? So now I come in, when's the last time you ate meat? If you don't answer, you're going to jail. Oh, I ate meat yesterday. Oh, really? You know meat causes viruses? Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to arrest you. Nobody in the country is allowed to eat meat from here on out. If you eat meat, you're causing the virus and you're going to get arrested. Now I'm applying it to you. Well, that's the actual cause of the virus, right? It comes down to corruption, really. And the Buddha taught this 2,600 years ago, guys. The fact that history is repeating itself right now, it's sad. It's really, really sad. We have the literature, we have the knowledge. We as humans, we can't claim ignorance anymore. In the past, we could have been like, look, I'm sorry, I'm an ignorant human. I didn't know. But now the texts are right there. The teachings of the Buddha are right there. He explains everything in great detail. It's perfect text. We have no excuse. The fact that this is even bubbling up I'm shocked. I'm shocked. You cannot impose your will on somebody else in a free country. If you are imposing your will on somebody else, you are admitting the fact that you are no longer in a free country. How would you like it if I force you to, I don't know, inject yourself with urine? Drink urine. If I force you to do it. The fact of the matter is, you don't even know what's in these things. A vaccine is supposed to keep you from getting the virus. One vaccine, the virus is done. A second vaccine booster shot, and you're going to logically try to explain that to me? I'm good. I don't want a second. I don't want a third. I don't want a fourth. At that point, it's no longer a scientific issue. The science is off the table. It's a human rights issue, and it's a morality issue. Okay? And the science is a different issue. Okay? The science is only as good as the intention of the people who push the science. Okay? Let me tell you something else about what's going on here and the corruption in this country, all right? The insurance is pooled together. The initial reason for insurance was so that even the poor people in the community can get the highest level health care. So it was done under the guise of everybody's going to get equal health care. That was how insurance came out. Then Obama forced it so that, you have to pay money if you don't get insurance. So Obama made it a law, you have to have insurance. Right there, our rights were taken away. You can't force somebody into getting insurance. That's illegal. That's against the United States government. That's against our forefathers' design for the country. As soon as that law was passed, I knew there was trouble. As soon as it was passed, how can you force me to get insurance if I want to go in a holistic lifestyle? You're saying that I have to get insurance? So why are you saying I have to get insurance? So you're saying that I have to get insurance because I'm pooling my money in with everybody else in my community so that we can all get equal health insurance? You know what? Let me buy that for a minute. Can I get a tooth implant? No, you can't get a tooth implant. Why not? I'm paying my insurance like everybody else in the community, right? We're all pooling our money. No, you can't get a tooth implant because you don't have enough money. Well, then why am I paying insurance? So if you look at that problem right there, that problem is the mini thing for the whole problem. It's corrupt. They're lying. That's it. That's the bottom line. Guys, this is basic misdirection. Okay? I don't think y'all are stupid. I think Americans are really smart. Okay? I just think that y'all don't. Basic misdirection, guys. Look at my left hand while I stuff the money in my pants with the right hand. That's all. That's all it is. So what I'm saying is now that this is the knowledge, when I tell people the truth, they flip out. They don't even understand. They don't even know. People don't even understand how the United States government works and how checks and balances were put in place so that the president of the country wouldn't have too much power. And right now, the president has taken the power and he's bribing people to work for him. That is... It's illegal. It's illegal. It's un-American. It's against the Constitution. And if we okay it, we're okaying Nazi Germany. And you know what? We're not having that. We're not having that as the people. So now we have to stand up and not accept this. As soon as you get the point where you can ask somebody, hey, what'd you eat for breakfast? Oh, I have the right to remain silent. No, you don't. What'd you eat for breakfast? I had eggs. Eggs are illegal. Whoa. Now what you gonna do? Start arresting and shooting people for eating eggs? You can't do that. You can't do that. It's an invasion of privacy to ask somebody something and force them into giving you an answer. And then you're gonna cut people off from the food? That's what you're gonna do? Let's starve them out. The people who don't play ball and who don't comply, we're gonna starve them out. That's foul. That's foul. I'm calling in divine help from the Lord God himself. Okay? Not underneath God's son. Not underneath God's son. And that's another thing. Y'all people discredited the Church of Jesus Christ. The priest touches a boy, whether he did it or not. If he did it, it should be punished. Okay? It's obviously wrong. That's terrible. Murder and rape are the two most horrible things. And I don't even want to say the word of those things, okay? They're horrible. They're inexcusable. That doesn't disregard the teachings of Jesus Christ. The teachings of Jesus Christ are holy and sacred, and that's the reason why this country has fallen to shit, because we have lost the teachings of Jesus. Nobody even knows the teachings of Buddha. These were the wisest beings to ever walk the planet. The teachings of Buddha shed amazing light on the teachings of Christ. The teachings of Christ are so high up, it's hard to understand. The teachings of Buddha, they shed a lot of light on what exactly is with these words. And they're going into different explanations in different ways. So it becomes the study of spiritual texts. And if we're not studying the spiritual texts, then we're not going to learn or grow from people. So in yoga, in my religion, okay, which is it's one of the first amendments. You have your religious freedom. People are sitting there praying. Redcoats, what are you doing? Oh, I'm praying to God. Screw you, die, you're going to jail. What? We can't worship our creator on the earth? Nah. That's why our ancestors died right there. In yoga, my religion is study. Svadhyaya is one of the limbs. If you don't study, then you don't grow as a human. A human is different than a tree. A tree grows up towards the sun and eventually reaches a very high potential. But a human being has to grow mentally and spiritually to achieve full potential. And that is hard to come without study. So repeated study is part of the practice. Balance is everything. Balance between what your inside moral values, spiritual growth is, then balance outwards towards your physical possessions and your way of life and physical things. There has to be balance. The Netflix and all these other things, if there's no study, if the only thing that you're feeding yourself is violent movies and things like that, you're not going to grow. So what you feed yourself, what you feed your mind is important. and feeding the spiritual texts to your brain. Very important. If not, we're all going to suffer. And that's what I want you guys to understand. The Buddha was asked, what do you teach? The Buddha said, I teach two things, suffering and not suffering. That's what the Buddha said he taught. So the Buddha, when he saw everybody suffering, when he reached enlightenment, he realized what everybody was suffering for, because the Buddha had a glimpse of totality. It's not, unless you understand totality, it's hard to grasp what's going on. To understand totality takes a lot of study and a lot of meditation. It's not something that's easy to understand. See, again, it kind of is easy to understand, but it takes study and practice to do it. As soon as you understand the whole of totality and how everything affects each other, dependent origination is how things arise and how they fall and how everything is connected. And karma is the law of cause and effect. So to understand karma, you have to understand the laws of the universe. That's why in every religion there's morality. And the morality is important, because without morality, you don't know what right and wrong is. And that's what we have here. What we have here is people don't understand what right and wrong is and what morality is. And if you want to throw away morality, the results are going to be catastrophic. You don't care about your daughter. You don't care about your husband. You don't care about your family. You don't want to have a peaceful, happy world to live in. If there's no more earth, there's no place to survive. If that destructive path happens, then there's no more earth for anybody. So really, it's time to wake up. I'm praying to God. I'm asking for God, Archangel Michael, all the angels in heaven, all of the Buddhas and deities. I'm asking for all of the righteous people, the good people, the loving people, the people who are on the side of good. I'm asking for them to come together, pray, put their efforts in so that we can bring United States of America back to a free world. A free world. God bless.